What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you guys another video of Pokemon Masterclass, where I show you guys how to win with every single Pokemon. And in the last episode, we didn't really win, but we tried really hard with Bulbasaur. I feel that yesterday's video, I tried my best, I have no regrets, but today, we're showing you guys a brand new video. We're going to be using Ivysaur today, the evolved form of Bulbasaur. You guys can see it if you guys look down right there. Everyone knows what Ivysaur looks like, and you may be thinking like, THATSA, why are you using Ivysaur? You could just use Venusaur. Guys, remember the whole main point of this series is to show that every single Pokemon has value and you can win with anything. So we're going to be talking about what Ivysaur can actually bring to the table, because remember guys, every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. Ivysaur has to be somebody's favorite Pokemon, so that's one of the reasons why we're making this video. So we're going to be playing singles today because a lot of you guys like those singles content, and Ivysaur is just good enough to, like sneak its way into singles. We're gonna look at the set we're using, and remember, we're gonna be using completely like different sets. I could just as easily make the same video as yesterday with the same set as I used on Bulbasaur with the dual screens and probably be fine. But what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna make Ivysaur a little bit different. I had to teach you a move that really brings its whole set together. Maybe you've heard of it before. So we're gonna go to our TM case, and survey says sub. Alright, I already taught it to it. I was already on top of the game. We're going to be using a sub-seeder Ivysaur. So for those that don't know what that is, we're going to look at Ivysaur here. We're going to check its summary, and we're going to check its moves. And we have Protect, Substitute, Sleep Powder, Leech Seed. Again, we're not running any offensive moves on this Pokemon, and we're playing singles. We're using it as somewhat of a substitute Leech Seeder, hence the term Sub-Seeder. There's been really good Sub-Seeders in the past. Breloom comes to mind, from previous formats. Venusaur's always been decent. Ferrothorn's a good example of how, a good Pokemon in the current metagame for singles right now. But the way this is going to work is you're going to use Leech Seed and then Substitute, and you're going to be getting a ton of HP back every single turn since your health bar is so low. So every single turn, they're going to knock your sub out because you're such a weak Pokemon compared to everything else. And you're just going to be so slow, you're just going to use sub every single turn. Note that we're using a speed-reduced nature to maximize that we're going last with our substitute every single turn to our highest potential with a defense-boosting nature. So again, if we get the Leech Seed off on like a switch-in or something, or in any situation, we get the Leech Seed off and we just use sub, and then Leech Seed's going to do all the work. If they ever are going to switch, we can then Leech Seed on the switch or substitute on the switch. We use Protects if we ever need to get a little bit more extra HP. Protect's the one move in this, on this moveset, they could be switched for something else, but we don't really need any offensive stats. The only thing I could see us switching it for, let's look at our handy-dandy strategy guide. If you guys haven't gotten one of these, I would highly recommend it. It's very helpful for just learning all the move decks. Like, I don't need it to be the game, but learning that move decks, oh my gosh, it's so nice. Alright, so yeah, it looks like Ivysaur. Let's see, any moves that would be worth using. Mega Drain. Maybe one of the screens, like in yesterday's video with the white screen or, Reflect. Some might say, oh, you could use Toxic, but remember we're using Sleep Powder, so they kind of clash just a little bit. Only other thing that might see value would probably Mega Drain or Sludge Bomb, so I actually am fine with the Protect pick. But anyways, we're going to hop into some games. We're going to look at the rest of the team for just a moment. Remember, this is a singles battles. We are pretty weak to electric attacks. Our main attackers are going to be Mega Blastoise and Starmie, so we're pretty weak to electric attacks here, and grass attacks, so that means Ivysaur's a perfect Pokemon for this team. Ivysaur comes in and covers the weaknesses of our sweepers very well. Hitmonchan's Pokemon you've been seeing me use pretty recently. I think Hitmonchan's a great pick. Rhydon is one of my favorite Pokemon in this gen, great Stealth Rocks user, and I think Magneton, being a Steel Electric type, is amazing. I can switch in on almost any attack and neuter an opponent with the use of Thunder Wave, and then go for like a free Thunderbolt before effectively trading like 1-for-1 and then like crippling something else. So Magneton's a great pick. We're gonna hop into some games, get started. Here we go. Alright, so we're in a battle. We're going to shake the ball. No Mewtwo. I'll take it. I'll take no Mewtwo. He has a Mew. That's fine. I could deal with Mew. Very solid team, though. Dragonite, Lapras, another Rhydon. I think he's probably going to be leading with his Rhydon. What I really like about this team is that he doesn't have any electric types. So I got to watch out for, like, Thunderbolt from Lapras and Mew, I think. But other than that, I should be okay. Let's think about how I want to deal with this. I'm not going to be leading with Ivysaur, but we will definitely be using it a lot. Main reason we're not leading with Ivysaur is because I think I'm going to bust that out mid-game and really pin him with like a Sleep Powder. So that's the way we're going to do it. Is Hitmonchan a good lead? It's actually not terrible against a lot of these. I'm thinking he might lead with Arcanine, as weird as that sounds, because Arcanine can free switch into Lapras and be okay. Eevee's another decent one. You know what? Let's think about this. If I were to lead with Starmie, what would he have? I can eat a Thunderbolt from a lot of those things. I'm gonna try leading. Man, I don't want to risk that either. You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna lead with Rhydon. I think there's a chance he leads with Mew. And holy moly, I got 8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we got it. With a second to spare, maximizing the use of team preview, so important. Going into a battle against Josh Kuhn. But hopefully we can win this one. Remember, we're showcasing the value that Ivysaur brings to the team, the true value here. And let's see if we see Mew. It's possible we see Mew. I think Arcanine's with a really good lead from him, because it really is good against most of our team. There is the Mew. So the reason why I decided to completely forego everything that went in the team preview and realized it, I was like, man, I should be winning with Blastoise. Blastoise is good against every single one of his Pokemon but Mew, because Mew can win anything. So I assumed this is telling me that his Mew has an electric attack, because this is just telling me Mew is the one Pokemon that can beat the thing that beats all the things that beats his things. So we're in a pretty decent spot. He might just be Stealth Rocks in this turn, but if he wants to Stealth Rocks and trade his Mew for getting Stealth Rocks, that's fine. Goes for Thunder. No. I'm good, actually. He probably thought I was going to switch. I was actually just going to eat your Scald, my guy. I was just going to eat your Scald. Wow, that doesn't actually KO. So he's actually using a bold Mew. You don't see that, like, ever. Or a defense nature Mew, because this actually does one-shot Mew. So, unfortunate, but the defense nature Mew coming in extra thick. He can totally go for the Scald. I'm totally fine. Go for a Scald. See what happens. And, again, I told you he had the Thunder. I told you that he did. And at this point, he's like, dang it, why didn't you switch? I could have just KO'd it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't care. Please kill my Rhydon so I can come in and revenge K with my Starmie, please. So let's actually just be fine. I'm not going to risk switching in my Starmie and just losing it, because then I don't have any Pokemon that can, like, speed creep this Mew. Yeah, right now he's a little bit pinned. Yeah, he has to switch. So he's probably switching to something that can minimize... oh, what a great play. I went for an Earthquake. Yo, this guy actually... You're going to say, wow, he went for a Thunder on your ground type. He doesn't know his stuff. He actually does know his stuff. He obviously... looked at what I had, because I have Mega Horn. It means that, you know, I don't want to miss another Mega Horn, so I'm obviously going to go for an attack that hits. If you think about Rhydon's competitive moveset, which this is it, my only move that doesn't miss is Earthquake, sorry, and he played to that advantage. I would love to go for a Rock Slide, but I actually think getting Stealth Rocks up here is value. I think it's very value, because remember, we're going to be using Ivysaur later, Fire Blast. I don't know, maybe I'm giving this guy a little bit too much credit! Maybe he thought I was going to switch in Ivysaur again. Don't burn me. I might be giving him too much credit. I might be. I'm not going to lie. Maybe just a little bit too much credit. It's possible. I'm not going to say it. But remember, guys, you may be thinking, like, this guy sucks. You always show your opponent the maximum amount of respect that you can. You know, not only is it good sportsmanship, but it creates a situation in which every single game you can get the maximum amount of actual training. If you know everything that can happen in every game, you know, alright, so this guy is not super competitive, but you know what? We're still going to act like he is. We're going to talk about the things that he could be doing. Rock Slide almost gets the KO there. I think I'm going to switch in Ivysaur now and show you guys how it works. He has Fire Blast, though. He has that Fire Blast, though. Do I care about Fire Blast on my Ivysaur? No, I'll actually just KO this thing, and then I'll start bringing Ivysaur in. But we'll see. He could still totally win this one, because remember, we're trying to use... I'm gonna go into, like, full Ivysaur mode after this. Oh, is that Lapras switching? Bro, I'm using Rock Slide! No! Goodbye, Lapras! And then his Dragonite's getting KO'd by Stealth Rocks, lol. Delete! Everything's deleted. Oh, man. Please don't send your Dragon out right now. We're gonna talk about things that, you know, I'm gonna try myself to make you guys better players. So in this situation, he did switch out his Dragonite. You may be thinking, like, man, that's stupid. It's just gonna die when it gets sent out. In certain situations, that's sometimes a good play, because what you can do is you can save that Pokemon as a free switch later on in the game. Let's say you are super pinned, like something is going to one-shot anything you switch to and you're like in a really big problem. What you can do in that situation, you can save and switch the Dragonite or the Pokemon that's like 1 HP that'll get killed by rocks in. So, speaking of switch it in, we're going to be switching in Ivysaur. It's time to get the Ivysaur showcase going. Eevee, the Sizzly Slide can burn us, and Fire's super effective, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to find out what he has in store for us. Buzzy Buzz. That's actually amazing that we get hit by this. Just because, remember, we're trying to be slow, and he can't burn us if we are paralyzed. Perfect. So I'm assuming we're going to get hit with one of those Sizzly Slides right now. Sleep Seed on Eevee is not going to be super good. Let's try the Sleep Powder first and see if he switches into something. He does have a Sizzly Slide. I want to see how much damage this actually does to... oh my goodness! Holy moly, that big damage. Sleep Powder making the connections. That's what I'm talking about. Ivysaur bulking it out. even super effective moves are not enough to take out my boy. So Eevee, remember, I'm going to talk about sleep mechanics, because I don't think I've talked about that recently. The way sleep works is you may be thinking that you can just wake up whenever, but the first turn that something gets put to sleep, they have to stay asleep for at least one turn. And since he was faster than us, that means he has to stay asleep for at least one turn. And he hasn't even started that turn. Next time that Eevee comes out, it has to be asleep, guaranteed. Takes that rocks damage, that's what I'm talking about. Leech Seed is up. We're going to get a good amount of HP from this, and it's actually pretty good. We're going to actually be able to get enough HP to where when he sends that Eevee back out, we can bring in Ivysaur and just sub him out. We'll just be able to set up another Leech Seed, go for sub, and be in a really good spot. So we're at 22 HP. We go up to 40. We get 18 HP per attack on Arcanine. I could greedily go for a Protect here, but I could risk hitting myself in Para. I'm going to do it because that is the play. Protect is up. Craigasm all. Risking it for the biscuit. Give me that 18 health. You know I want it. So, going for a flamethrower? No thanks. No thanks, my guy. So, Arcanine getting grinded out. Leech Seed putting its work. So, we know that he's going to be able to KO the Ivysaur. And remember, guys, Leech Seed stays on the target as long as the target is on the board. So, what I can actually do is use the Leech Seed and switch in with another Pokemon, like my Starmie, for example. Switch in with my Starmie. We're going to take chip damage from the flamethrower, but after that, Leech is going to restore our health, and it's going to be effectively making Ivysaur a Pokemon that can pass small heals to the whole team. Remember, that is one of the biggest values that Ivysaur as a Pokemon, or any Leech Seed Pokemon, for example, can bring to a team. So you can see, took some damage, hard switching in the Starmie here, and restore some HP. And now we're forcing him into a situation where he is probably going to have to switch, but like, what is he even going to switch to? I am going to go for... See, this is the type of turn where you would switch in your Dragonite and get that free switch. I'm going to go for a Psychic here because it's stronger than Scald by 10 base power, and I want to hit something really hard on the switch in. There's the Eevee. Hey, that's totally fine. Eevee should get two-shotted by this, especially with the addition of Stealth Rock's damage. So remember, we stab Psychic, but Starmie isn't really a powerhouse. It's more of like a sweeper. It two-shots most Pokemon. So again, going for the Psychic here. We're going to be able to KO the Eevee. Eevee hasn't even started its sleep turn, so it's going to get KO'd. And then he has a low HP Dragonite. He has a Arcanine, which is within range for Scald. Starmie might be able to just sweep it out here, but we're going to see if we can use Ivysaur a little bit more to show off a little bit more versatility. Not really trying to style on this guy, just trying to showcase more of its set and showcase, you know, if it has any more potential to really be used in singles. So there's the Mew. Remember, Mew is one of those Pokemon that we're using Starmie to actually beat. We're going to be faster than Mew, and we're just going to Scald it. Stealth Rock's coming in really, really big this game. And one of the reasons Stealth Rock's coming in so big is actually because we're using Leech Seed. We're forcing our opponent to pick between the lesser of two evils. Now, I get my Leech Seed up with Ivysaur, and you can think, okay, I can stay and take this residual damage at the end of every turn, but that restores his health. Or I can switch every single time I get Leech Seeded, switch from bad matchups, and every single time I do that, I take a percentage of my health from Stealth Rocks. So, again, that's one thing that Pokemon's really... The way that's one thing that makes Pokemon from other games is you can create, through the use of team building, situations that force your opponent into really bad matchups where they have to pick between the lesser of two evils until they ultimately lose because of it. Because at the end of the day, if you're switching and trying to minimize damage without ever really applying any pressure, you have almost no way to get back into the game. And so it kind of sucks that we're grinding him out this way, but I feel this is a perfect example of, you know, when I talked about the team when I started the video, Dragonite gets KO'd right there. This is the perfect example of Ivysaur setting up the situation for Starmie to sweep, which is exactly like how I described it. What I wanted to do was set up rocks, set up Leech Seeds, wall the things that need to get walled. You know, the Eevee was a main problem there because, like I said, Starmie couldn't one-shot it, had to two-shot it, and it came into a situation where everything was at just enough health that, you know, I was able to come with my fastest Pokemon that had great offensive coverage and finish off the game. Now, I know that most of you guys have probably stopped watching because this guy is not the most competitive, but you can't say that we didn't treat this game exactly how it needed to be treated. You can't say we didn't practice what needed to be practiced. You can't say that we didn't play this game as well as it needed to be played to effectively win. And you may be thinking like, oh, you're so much better than him. He had no chance. Well, the better you are, the more often that's going to happen. So I just want to say, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Tomorrow we're going to be working on Venusaur, so expect a real competitive battle with heavy hitters, mega evolutions, and all the good stuff. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.